Okay. Hello, everyone. So my name's Tara. I am from Live Well Vermont. We are the State of Vermont Employees and Retirees Wellness Program. A few reminders, we are recording. Our contact info is going to be at the end of the workshop. We have our slides in the chat, thanks to the wonderful Sophie Cocagna, and we're also going to put those in Teams. Just a reminder, please grab something to write with, like notebook, note card, open a blank Word doc. We're going to need that. And as you're getting settled, I want to ask, who has set a wellness goal that didn't stick? Maybe a New Year's resolution, sleep routine. You can put a thumbs up. We're going to use that thumbs up a bunch today. Yeah, seeing some thumbs up. Yep. Most of us have had that experience. Yeah. And it's not that we don't care. Yep. Yeah. And it's certainly not that we're lacking, because we are amazing. It's often that our goals are too large, too vague, or they rely on motivation that comes and goes. Research on behavior change actually shows us that small, repeatable actions are more successful than relying on willpower alone. And we also know that motivation often comes after we start an action and not before. So with that said, today we're going to run an experiment, and we're going to see if we can make our goals smaller and easier. Can that help us build momentum? All right, so get ready. In a few moments, I'm going to ask everyone to jot down a wellness goal, and this can really be anything. There's no sharing required today. This is just for you. I know that goal setting can be challenging for some people. So if that's the case, if today, like this Friday, that's too much to tackle, let's just do an imaginary wellness goal for an imaginary person. So if you want to do that, some examples of imaginary goals can be getting outside more often, feeling more rested, drinking enough water. Excuse me. It can also help to choose a goal that connects to something that you value. So if you value curiosity or connection or creativity or family, then that can help. And I also just want to offer a quick reframe. Today, we're just doing an experiment. You do not have to commit to your goal so much as you need to reflect on how it feels to go through this process, all right? So please write down your wellness goal. I'm going to give you about 60 seconds. And when you're done, can you please just give me a thumbs up reaction so I know we can move on? Thank you. Okay, I'm actually seeing a lot of thumbs up, so I'm going to move on a little quick. You guys are speedy. Okay, so our first step today is we're going to make our goal tiny. Just shrink the goal down to something that feels almost too easy, like embarrassingly easy. My favorite example of this comes from behavior change scientist BJ Fogg, and I've linked this later on in the slides. He says if you want better dental health, you're just going to floss one tooth, okay? In my goal, my personal goal of trying to get better sleep in progress, it's vague, and it also makes me want immediate perfection. If something's too big, we're going to lose confidence. And if we lose confidence, we're going to lose momentum. So I'm not saying lights out 8 hours every night. No, I'm making the goal so tiny. I'm just trying to get to bed 10 minutes earlier. All right. So I will give you 30 seconds. Just give me another thumbs up when you're ready. Please write down your teeny tiny, embarrassingly easy 30-second version of your goal. All right. So step 2, we're going to anchor our tiny goal to something that you already do so it fits into your real life. Habit stacking is pretty cool. It's pairing a desired behavior with something we already do. A lot of you might already know about habit stacking. The good news is we do it all the time. So think about it. When you get in the car, before you drive away, what do? You put on your seatbelt, right? But here's the bigger question. When's the last time you remember doing that? And that's really the point here. We want this step to be on autopilot for us. And the stacked habits don't have to make sense or go together. They can really be silly. So absolutely, you can change into your pajamas and take deep belly breaths if your goal is promoting relaxation. Excuse me. And you can also prep your lunch the night before and like do a little kitchen dance. So like doesn't have to make sense. So now think of something you already do and pair your habit with that. Once again, I'll give you about 30 seconds and give me another thumbs up when you're ready to move on. Okay, it's looking like we're mostly ready. So we're moving on to step 3. We're going to look at what's getting in the way now and make our habit easier by changing our environment and not relying on willpower alone, which ebbs and flows. So think about adjusting friction to your advantage here. Adjust things to remove barriers or just make it like a little teeny tiny bit easier for yourself. In that sleep example, once again, maybe keeping our phone out of reach at night or even out of the bedroom so there's no temptation to look at screens in the evening so we can unwind. And you can be creative here and reframe things as well. So I worked with a mom who her goal was to move her body more in ways that she loves. And so in that shift, her children became her movement partners. Her children became her play partners, her dance partners, right? And then I want to take a moment to talk about if you are someone whose barrier is you're putting yourself last, or you find that throughout each day you're deprioritizing yourself and your needs. First of all, I see you, I feel you, I'm here with you. A lot of us were taught that taking care of our needs is optional, or it's something that we earn, right, after everything else is done. It's really hard to unlearn that. The challenge is the list is never done. So I have just a few ideas for that, some easier, some harder. You can reframe once again for a future you for someone else. So would it help you if you had a little bit more patience tomorrow, if you were more well rested to have more patience with your loved ones, with your family, with your coworker? You can also look back at your tiny step and ask, how small can I make this so it's guaranteed to not feel selfish? And then finally, if consistently this is the issue for you, your tiny trick may be just practicing taking up a little bit of space in your own day, noticing your own body, noticing your own needs. Definitely easier said than done. So I'm going to give you 30 seconds once again to remove a barrier and give me a thumbs up when you are ready to move on. Some of you guys are so speedy. I'm really impressed. All right, we're moving on to our last step, making it fun. So for this step, fun absolutely doesn't have to mean like exuberant, exciting parade. It can just be something that sparks a little joy for us, right? So something that's soothing or calming or wholesome or silly or special. In the sleep example, totally free option, just like a little fun imagination exercise where like I'm becoming the hibernating bear at night in my cozy den with a little book, little sleep hat. In this step, community can also help. So if you're someone who's a little bit more extroverted, tag an accountability buddy who can also be your support buddy, like 1 or 2 texts a week to kind of validate what you're going through. And then just another call out, if you had trouble with that third step, really, I want you to lean in and imagine, lean into what feels like a warm, fuzzy hug for you, okay? So once again, 30 seconds, write down what would make this goal lighter for you, and then just throw up a thumbs up when you're done. All right, folks, so here's an example of what you might see now. Here's a completed goal. So for this person, they want to spend more time outside. So for their tiny step, they're just putting on their shoes. For habit stacking, they're anchoring it to post-lunch. For their environmental design, they're keeping their shoes by the door. And then finally, in their step 4, they're making it fun. They're listening for bird songs. They're listening to something they enjoy. Putting these steps together, hopefully our big goals start to feel a little less scary and more achievable and repeatable. So I'd like you to just reflect now. How are you feeling? And how are you feeling about your goal? Is it a little bit more achievable? Is it a little bit more clear for you? And I also want to say, if this was challenging for you today, that is okay. That means that you care, and that's a huge part of it. Your life and your plate may be very full right now, but I do still want you to reflect on how you feel about the goal, because that's helpful data. Take that reflection with you throughout next week and notice when you think about the goal, what gets in the way. Notice, when does it feel easier? When does it feel harder? And then just a quick reminder, this is a translatable process that you can go through with any other realm in your life, whether it's an environmental goal, nutritional goal, financial goal, intellectual goal, recreational goal, spiritual goal, you name it, social, emotional, mental health goal. I hope our experiment today has proven that small actions can help us build confidence and then consistency. We can see that change kind of happening in ourselves. If you're interested in the science behind this, that's linked in that third bullet there. And then going back to our make it fun idea, celebrate internally too, right? See if it helps gain momentum to kind of soften that internal monologue when you hit a wall, and praise yourself for every little step. If you found this kind of work interesting and you're curious to learn more and flex that intellectual realm of wellness, again, the slides are in the chat, and you can read more by searching the terms on this slide, as well as the names here, clicking the links there. There's some videos. I also want to give a quick plug for our coaching program. If you found this work kind of resonates with you, we offer free virtual one-on-one coaching that has founded in a lot of the same science that informed this workshop today. So there's a link in the chat that Sophie just dropped to request a session for coaching. You can also email us. So thank you, folks. I'm happy to take any questions now. If you do want to share about how this process felt for you, please do that. I'm going to stop recording now. Thank you.